Welcome to a demonstration of Restcomm GMLC and Restcomm Geolocation API. We will make a demo, brief demo of Restcomm GMLC and Restcomm Connect running the binaries with the Restcomm Geolocation API already there. If you want to see the Restcomm Geolocation API documentation, you can go to this place right here, and it's thoroughly explained there with lots of examples and diagrams, call flows, etc. If you want to go to the the GMLC admin guide, you can also go here, and you have a very big admin guide for Restcomm GMLC. But let's focus now on the demo we are about to see, following you understand better how these platforms and these APIs work together. And well, here I have a virtual machine running with Linux, actually a CentOS distribution, and I already have Restcomm Connect running here and Restcomm GMLC running here in simulator mode. I have here the JS7 simulator running, which I will at this moment will stop it. Actually, I will close this, take a fresh view. I will run here. Let's make this bigger, and I have the JS7 simulator at this moment not connected to the GMLC, right? So, but I have GMLC running, and I have it running here. The IP of the virtual machine is this one, and I have either Restcomm Connect and GMLC running. That's why I have here Restcomm Connect to log in. The IP is the same, but as you can see, I have shifted the ports so I can run the JBoss server distance one from the other by 100. So here I have port 8180 for accessing the JS7 management console of Restcomm GMLC, and 8080 for logging in to Restcomm Connect. Let's log in, and here I am. This is the account seed and the authorization token of the user I just used to log in. This will be very important to see in the demo, as you will notice briefly. So, but we were talking about the Restcomm GMLC, and as you saw, I stopped the JS7 simulator I had running, and as you can see here, the JS7 simulator is not started. To start, you need to click here in Start. So JS7 simulator and Restcomm GMLC are not connected. So if I go here to HTTP in associations, and I want to see the properties, I see here that connected is in state false and app is in state false. The association is started, but it's not connected. And if I go to M3UA, for example, in routers, I will see that the root is inactive and the application server is down. So let's connect the JSSN simulator. And here it is connecting. As you can see, we need to wait for a few seconds, and as you can see now, the HTTP connection is up, and the M3UA layer connection is active. So if we go to Restcomm GMLC and we refresh here, and if we go to HTTP management, now we go to the association, we will see that it's connected. These two were in false previously, now they are in true. If we go to M3UA, now, for example, the router is active, right? And the application server is active. So okay, we have JSSN simulator and Restcomm GMLC connected. So JSSN simulator will, in this demo, act as a mobile network operator, as an HLR, for example. So what we will do is trigger map anytime interrogation to this virtual HLR to gather the subglobal identification of the MSISDN. I will query to the HLR. Let's see in PowerPoint what we will do. Here I have a presentation of Restcomm GMLC, and you can see here connected to Restcomm Connect, and here's a brief architecture, software architecture diagram. And as you can see, I have JSS7 to deal with secret switch core networks like GSM or the UMTS, and I also have JDiameter to deal with LTE core network and Evolve packet core. We will simulate through HTTP and the connection between Restcomm Connect and Restcomm GMLC. We will also see the same with a GMLC client. Actually, I will use a browser to trigger a map anytime interrogation from the GMLC to the HLR. The HLR here, as you can see here, is being simulated by the JSS7 simulator. Okay, so let's go to this slide here. So this is another view of what we have, and so we have Restcomm Geolocation API and Restcomm GMLC, and a mobile network operator core network, and its radio access network. But for this example, we will only use the connection between the GMLC and the core network to query the HLR for the global cell identification of a particular MSISDN, but trigger from Restcomm Geolocation API. So what we will see is that we will we will run a command, post, HTTP post command from Restcomm Geolocation API, like you are seeing there, where I am requesting an immediate type of geolocation. So as we are requesting an immediate type of geolocation, I only have two mandatory parameters for this post command, which are device identifier and status callback. The device identifier, I will put the MS-ISDN I want to query. So I want to gather the location information, or retrieve the location information that is temporarily located at the HLR in the mobile network operator. So let's do what happens. Okay, Restcomm Geolocation, the Restcomm client will send that command, that the HTTP post, to the Restcomm Geolocation API, which would generate an HTTP GET from the GMLC, which will trigger a map anytime interrogation request to the HLR. The HLR will answer back with map anytime interrogation response, and if we have a trace or a Wireshark trace, the map, the mobile application part section of the trace will look like this, with you're seeing in bold the location information, which is the information I want to gather from the GMLC in Restcomm Geolocation API. So this is what we will see, and then the GMLC which response to the Restcomm Geolocation API is in there, and the Restcomm Geolocation API well, we'll see something like that. This is also a Wireshark trace, and we're seeing the section of HTTP. So here I have mobile country code, mobile network code, location area code, CLD, age of location, and VLR number, which is the location information I just retrieved from the HLR, converted from GSM map to HTTP. So finally, Restcomm Geolocation API will give the answer back to the client in HTTP, and what the client will see is the Restcomm response. And here I have highlighted, well, the parameter device identifier, the geolocation type that is immediate, the geolocation data, where you can see the CLD, location area code, mobile country code, mobile network code, network entity address, and location age, which is the information I retrieved from the HLR via the GMLC. Okay, so let's see this working actually, not in a PowerPoint slide, but in the virtual machine I'm running currently with Restcomm Geolocation API and Restcomm GMLC. So here I have it, and let's put it here. And here I have a Wireshark, so I will start a Wireshark trace to see what is going on. from this perspective. Okay, so let's start tracing. Oh, Wireshark just crashed. This only happens when you're doing something like this, of course. Let's start and put a filter here. I only want to see what I need. So I have here a screen of Restcomm Connect, and here I have a console where I will place the Restcomm Geolocation API comments. So I have some of them here. Let's do exactly the same as I showed you in the slide, right? Here you are. You have the HTTP post with the device identifier. Here is the MSI SDN. Well, and this is another mandatory parameter, a status callback. I will not use it in this demo, but I need to pass it because it's mandatory, of course. So let's see what happens. Let's shoot the command, and there I have the response. As you can see, is here it's the response, and with the section where the geolocation data is there. As you can see, well, here I have the where I shoot this, and I have the account seed here, and the authorization token here, the IP where Restcomm Connect, and the port where Restcomm Connect's running. And well, as you can see here, it's an immediate type of geolocation. So actually, well, this is what it has been logged in Restcomm Connect screen console. And as you can see now, here I have the trace of what I just did. We'll see this later. Okay, so that was an execution, a successful execution of an immediate type of geolocation. If you have read the documentation of the geolocation API, you will already know that we have two types of geolocation in Restcomm Geolocation API, which are immediate and notification. Immediate is the purpose of the immediate geolocation is just to retrieve the current location. In GSM, we have map anytime interrogation for more advanced mobile networks, like UMTS and LTE. We can actually trigger other types of comments, like provide subscriber location or subscriber location report, or either through map or through diameter for LTE. But we're not going to demo that right now. This is only for simple map anytime interrogation. But I was talking about immediate, and for of immediate Restcomm Geolocation API, when we will use these more complex operations I just talked about in LTE or UMTS, networks where I have a standalone SMLC or an evolved SMLC, and positioning methods located at the radio access network. Either it's EM3S, terrestrial radio access network, or LTE. Well, I will be able to do something like more complex with Restcomm Geolocation API, and that is covered with notification type of geolocation, where I can get not only the current type of geolocation but event-driven type of geolocation. So I can have more than one response back from the GMLC. Also, Restcomm Geolocation API will work from applications running on iOS or Android devices, but that's not what we are demoing right now. So let's see what will happen with a notification type of geolocation when only map anytime interrogation is available. So here I have notification type of geolocation example, and I will show it here. As you can see, I have more parameters. There are far more mandatory parameters for notification type of geolocation. The ones I use for immediate stay, like device identifier and status callback. Okay, I'm using the same account seed and authorization token, and of course the same Restcomm Connect instance. But as you can see, I have other mandatory parameters like the latitude and longitude of a geofence and the geofence range, which is in meters, and the type of geofence event I'm controlling, which I have 3 types: getting in, getting out, or both, in, out. So let's shoot this, and here we have the Restcomm response. If you see the device identifier, it's a little bit different from the one I used previously because the device identifier in the command is different, right? So, and of course the date are a little different because I created, updated, and executed at a different time. So of course the geolocation type is different, as you can see here, and well, here I have the same geolocation data in terms of cell ID or mobile country code or mobile network code, because those are the parameters that the GMLC retrieved back. I also have here the geofence latitude and longitude. If I had triggered this to a more advanced mobile network core network, I will have the device latitude and device longitude, so and the accuracy, for example, so I can deduce if the MSI SDN, how far away is from the geofence. So let's see what happened actually here. Well, you can see that the Wireshark traced something, which is exactly what I triggered there. And well, in the S7 simulator, here are all the events, the 2 events: the request and response from the immediate, and the request and response from the notification geolocation. And if I go, well, here I have the second event in the screen, and then logged in the screen of Restcomm Connect. Here was the first one, and here I have the second one. And as you can see, the data retrieved from the GMLC is this one, and the geolocation data is logged here. The mobile country code, the mobile network code, and as you can see, I have no device latitude, longitude, or civic address, as I'm only triggering a map anytime interrogation, so I cannot get this. Once I trigger more complex map operation or diameter operation for LTE, I could gather this type of location information. But right now we are only demoing, as I said, map anytime interrogation. So let's see. Well, you already see this, right? So now let's use some other comments. For example, let's use get for Restcomm Geolocation API for this SID, for this immediate type of geolocation I triggered some minutes ago. And so for that I would need to use this comment here. I just put the SID there, and let's do it there, and there you are. As you can see, the date created is just some minutes ago, so it's the same one as it was here, the first one I triggered here. If I want to see the notification one, notification type geolocation, I need to copy that, and I have it here prepared for you. The get of this one, let's get it, and there you are. There you are. That's exactly, well, it's actually which is exactly the same as that one I have here, 23, 39, 42, and 23, 39, 42 here. And the notification one. The previous one was the immediate one type of geolocation. I can, for example, see all the geolocation attempts I did with this account SID and this authorization token by executing this command. Of course, there's a huge list for this. You can see a lot of records from previous tests there. That's in XML. I can see it in JSON, of course, in JSON format. Sorry. Let's go there. It will retrieve me the same information but in JSON format, and there you see. Okay, so let's use this one, for example, and it's from, well, it's not like the one I gathered some minutes ago. It's also notification, so this notification is good to me. And let's take away the double quotes and shoot it, and there I have it in XML format. So what if I want to delete this record? Okay, so I need to, let's copy it. I need just to use the delete command as it's described in the documentation. Let's use it. So there I am. I just executed it. So now I will try to get it as I did previously. I will shoot exactly this same command, and let's see what happens. So let's go back. There I have it, and let's execute it. And of course I get, as expected, a 404 not found. Right. So great. This is working very good. Let's see something more. Let's see, for example, what happens if I shoot these commands with some of the mandatory parameters not placed, or some of the mandatory parameters placed but wrongly set. So for example, let's go to immediate type of geolocation. Okay, here I have a post. This is the immediate. So let's, for example, take away the status callback parameter, and let's see what happens. Okay, I have an HTTP response which says that status callback value cannot be null. That's exactly what I expected. Let's go back to notification type of geolocation, which is quite more interesting. And for example, here in geofence event, it says in. This is, I want to gather the location information when this device identifier enters this area depicted by this latitude and longitude of this geofence and this geofence range. You can see this in the Restcomm Geolocation API documentation. For example, here you have the description of the geofence event parameter and the values that are API compliant are in, out, or in, out, right? So if I place anything there that it's not one of these three strings, I will get an error. So let's see what happens if I put something like I got an I there. I deleted the N from in. So let's execute it, and this is what happens. I have a Restcomm response, okay, but in the response status I see failed, and in cause I see something very interesting, that it says geofence value not API compliant. It's exactly what I expected. So what about if I do a put of this, but with the geofence event properly set? So let's do it. Instead of in, let's put out. And of course, I need to put the SID of the geolocation. There it is. And instead of post, I need to place a put. And let's shoot it. And I did something wrong. No, it's not wrong, it's perfect. I have a Restcomm response. Okay. And now I have the parameters correctly set, but still the response status is failed, because the only thing I did here is correct the parameters of the record, but nothing else. I didn't trigger any geolocation event whatsoever. For that I need a post, right? The HTTP put is only used for changing already stored records, right? So, well, this could serve many purposes. It will be not very used, but it could be used. For example, if I get a wrong response, or something is something is messed up, the Restcomm client has the ability to restore some of the parameters there. For example, if the client wants to change the geofence latitude, for example, or whatever. So, but of course, the response status is failed. So I have no real geolocation data here, right? And I didn't trigger anything. Okay. So in other words, this put command didn't trigger anything on Restcomm GMLC, right? Okay. So let's do something else. So here I have a proper, well, what is a put? Let's go back to post. Here I had the post with the wrong geofence event, so now I'm the wrong geofence event value. I corrected it. The geofence event now it's out. So if I do the post, I now have a proper Restcomm response. This, of course, went to the Restcomm GMLC. As you can see here, I have the same cell ID and the other parameters triggered from the GMLC. These parameters, as you can see, 221 for cell ID, 32,000 for location area code, are the same ones I would gather if I, for example, trigger this, and this will not involve the Restcomm Geolocation API, but it's only a Restcomm GMLC client interacting with a Restcomm GMLC, and as you will see here I have the same numbers, the same parameters. Well, salinity 221. Restcomm GMLC has a special number, which is the Simpsons number. I have it here. So if I put here that dummy number and I shoot it, as you can see, I have everything in -1 except for the cell ID. So, for example, let's see what happens if I trigger the same post command, but I will put in the device identifier this dummy number. So what I will expect is that in the geolocation data I will get a different cell ID and everything else in -1, of course, except the event geofence latitude and longitude. I could do this with notification type of geolocation or immediate type of geolocation, but let's see for the last one. And there you are. Here you have 300 instead of 221, and the other one's in -1, which is, of course, it's failed global cell identification. Actually, it never went to the core network or to the mobile network operator. This is an answer from the GMLC in HTTP with a dummy answer for the dummy device identifier, or dummy MS ISDN. Okay. Well, but now I have not the dummy number. I have this one, but let's play with the parameters. I already played with status callback, for example, for immediate, but here for notification it's more fun because I have more. I already played with geofence event. Let's see what happens if I take away geofence range, for example. It's a mandatory parameter. Okay. And geofence range value cannot be null for notification type of geolocation. Perfect. That's what I expected. Let's go back, and here I have the correct one. And for example, let's do something else. Let's play with the event geofence longitude or latitude parameters, and actually with its format. As you can see, the format for the longitude or latitude must be WJS 84 compliant, or it can also accept this format, either for latitude and longitude. You need to read the documentation of Restcomm Geolocation API. But what happens if I put an invalid number, for example, west? This is not API compliant at all. Well, it was longitude. Well, it's okay. Longitude should be north or south, right? Anyway, I could have put anything. Let's put south here, and let's put, for example, east here. Well, both are wrong, right? But so for now, let's do it with both of them. Of course, it will the first one that will fail, it will inform me about. So what happens? Okay, I have a failed response. Okay, and why? Because the event geofence latitude format is not API compliant. What happened here is that a verification went wrong, so there's an exception there, and the processing is no longer justified, so it stops there and responds back. So the important thing is here that the cause is telling you that the event geofence latitude is not API compliant for this geolocation attempt. Let's correct the event geofence latitude. Let's get rid of that east word there. So now I have a correct event geofence latitude format, but I still have an incorrect event geofence longitude format. So let's shoot it, and now I have cause telling me that the event geofence longitude format is not API compliant. So it's working exactly as expected, right? Okay, so one more test here. Let's get rid of, for example, the device identifier, which is a mandatory parameter, and if I have no device identifier, what I'm trying to locate, right? So of course device identifier cannot be null. Okay, let's see something interesting. For example, for immediate type of geolocation, right? I have here an immediate with no status callback. Let's copy it. Let's copy the value of the status callback here. Okay, so this should return me a value, a response, and that's it. As you can see, it went through the Restcomm GMLC again. But what if in immediate I put a parameter like event geofence latitude correctly set? Let's give it a space there. Okay, what happens here? I'm giving an out parameter for an immediate type of geolocation, right? So let's see what happens. Okay, I got an answer. Event geofence latitude only applies for notification type of geolocation, which is totally expected, right? The same would happen if, for example, I place the other ones. Let's get rid of the event geofence latitude and put the geofence range, for example. The geofence range value correctly put, and what happens? Oh, geofence range only applies for notification type of geolocation. Wonderful, it's working really good. In the JUnit test suite of geolocation API, you have almost all of these wrong settings of geolocation attempts covered. Anyway, this is demo, so we are seeing it live. So one thing very interesting to see, as well, as you can remember, I was like tracing here. So let's see what the trace has traced. So let's put a name here, demo, well, demo 3, let's say, because today is January 3rd. Let's put demo 2017 0103 and save traces. So here, demo, and there it is, and saved. Perfect. And let's see it here. Let's have a bigger window here. Let's see what happened in Wireshark. Let's see a trace in Wireshark. Well, obviously we are only seeing some of them. I need to put the same filters. So this was the first geolocation attempt performed by the Restcomm Geolocation API, the GET command, to this 59899077937, which is device identifier, right? And it went through to the GMLC, and well, this is a anytime interrogation, and I'm requesting location information and subscriber state. Okay, and the only one I'm interested in is in location information, but the Restcomm GMLC, it's configured for getting both of them. And here I have the response and the location information. Okay, for example, here I have the VLR number and the age of location information and the global cell identification there, which is converted to HTTP backed. This is the HTTP from the GMLC back to the Restcomm Geolocation API, and this is the response of the Restcomm response to the guy that actually made the comment of this guy. So, well, here I have everything in XML, and as you can see, you have the date and the account seed and the device identifier and the geolocation type, which is immediate. Everything that I saw and the set global identification there, the facility, location area code, mobile control code, mobile network code, network entity address, and location age, which is the age of location information, but as informed in the Restcomm response. And in this one I have another get. This is for another number, as you can see here. This is a notification type of geolocation, which triggered the same anytime interrogation to the JSSM simulator, which gave back the same answer. Okay, and well, here I have the geolocation response. As you can see, the time is a little different, the device identifier is different. This is a notification type of geolocation, and everything else is the same, except I have the event geofence latitude and longitude placed there. Okay, so well, I've been tracing everything. So for example, here I have the BAT request from the one of the tests, also the last one. Well, the event geofence latitude only applies for notification type of geolocation. Let's see, this is the last one. Geofence range only applies for notification type of geolocation, which is, well, this one, right? So, well, this is the demo, and this is what will happen. Let's see what will happen eventually in some time. Let's hope very soon. And let's see a brief demo of Restcomm Geolocation API working with the GMLC, but also with Restcomm Visual Designer and Restcomm Geolocation RCML, Restcomm Markup Language, triggering location service, actually triggered from a USD RVD project. So let's say here a subscriber sends a USD message destined for Restcomm Connect, like pound 543, and it goes to the MSC, because let's assume that although the user equipment is given radio access from LTE, it makes a secret switch fallback to GSM. So which is what is happening right now, as LTE networks and mostly all user equipments up right now, they are not following what Restcomm Connect is following for USSD and SIP according to 3GPP technical specification 24390. Sorry. So the 543 shortcut request is routed via map for SS7 to Restcomm USSD gateway, as you can see here. And there goes the map USSD begin. So the Telescape USSD gateway or Restcomm USSD gateway translates USD over SS7 or map to USD over SIP or USD for the IMS according to 3GPP technical specification 24.390. So this is converted to SIP, and a SIP invite goes to Restcomm Geolocation API. So let's imagine that we have USSD project with which the first the startup module is this one, location request, and I will request from the same MSISDN that started the USSD service. I will request its location. The location type here I put notification, the geofence event in out. This is a continue to this module in Restcomm Visual Designer. The method is post. Here have the status callback, the geofence latitude and longitude, and the geofence range. All the same parameters I need to use for a notification type of geolocation, right? So the reply I will get will be assigned to this variable of application scope as portrayed here. So it will continue to this USSD module, which consists only of USSD message to end the USSD session, and it says that, well, here call from it's the MSISDN I got from the USSD message, and it's let's say that the MSISDN is 1234, so this will state 1234. You will receive an SMS with your current location soon. Thank you. And as you can see here, it must continue to SMS with location, which is this this module, but we'll see that later. So there goes zip by to the USSD gateway, which translates USSD over zip to, or USI to USSD over map for an SS7 network, according to, well, this is according to 3GPP TS24390 is for USI. This should say according to 3GPP 29002, which is the map specification. So there it goes. And finally, the answer goes to the user equipment. So at the same time, Restcomm Connect will trigger an LTA location procedure through Restcomm GMLC according to 3GPP technical specification 29172 and 173, which are diameter procedures through diameter interfaces LCLH and SLG. So this is what happens. And HTTP post goes to the GMLC, and instead of a map anytime interrogation, a routing information request and a provide location request is sent to the HLR or HSS and MME respectively. And then MME sends the request to the evolved SMLC, the Server Mobile Location Center, which jointly with the MME and the radio access network will proceed to locate the mobile equipment by a positioning method, for example, observed time difference of arrival, OTD-OA, right? So this is what will happen. This is out of our control. This is the diameter operations triggered by the diameter SLG procedures the GMLC, Restcomm GMLC just triggered. And then here the evolved node base stations are triangulating and getting the longitude and latitude of the user equipment. So at the diameter command will go back to the MME, and the MME will send back to the GMLC, and then to the GMLC will send back the response to Restcomm, which will resume the service logic. Remember, this was triggered by a USSD service. So this is what is going on, and that pulse is for the status callback parameter. So according to service logic, the user equipment location is to be reported back to the user that initiated the service via USSD through an SMS. So this is what this module of the Restcomm Visual Designer project, USSD project, is telling. So the MS ISDN, we said it was 1, 2, 3, 4. Of course, it can be anything, but it would say, well, 1, 2, 3, 4. Your current location is what is stored in geolocation, which was what it was gathered from the GMLC in Restcomm Connect, and this will go to the same MSISDN that started the service, and it will see it as sent by this variable core digits. Okay, so this is what will happen. A zip message will go to SMSC gateway, which will do exactly the same as the USSD gateway. It will translate zip into SMS over map. This demands an ascent routine information for short message to the HLR, and then I will have the location entity to forward the short message, and there the initiator of the USSD service will have its location through an SMS. Perfect. So let's imagine that the radio access network detects a logic event to be reported according to service logic. For example, the user equipment went out from the geofence range. So something will happen here. Okay, the enemy gets a diameter command, and that goes back to the GMLC. This is a report, and well, the GMLC reports to the Restcomm Geolocation API, which reports back to the Restcomm client, or where the status callback is located, the URL of the status callback, and that's how this service would end. So I guess you enjoyed the Restcomm GMLC and Restcomm Geolocation API demo. See you next time when we'll do something more advanced, including what I just showed you. For example, I use the service triggering a location event through Restcomm Geolocation API, for example, for a notification type of geolocation, through advanced methods like the diameter methods to retrieve actually device latitude and device longitude of the user equipment. Well, thank you very much, and that was it. Goodbye.